Representative Christiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll try to be brief as well. I do want to address this idea that we may not need legislative action because this past year was an anomaly. I think we've all heard about the 100-year floodplain that has flooded 6 times in 4 years, and while last year may have been an anomaly, if we could prevent not having another anomaly this year or going forward, we should do that, because what will be repeated is this governor's assault on any education setting that is not the traditional public school setting. We've seen, while the governor has asked for record increases to public education, he has singled out a certain segment of our public school education to cut those 36,000 students by 50%. We've seen the governor twist his legal authority with driving out these letters that we've clearly heard today, that without action, the law that establishes these programs is reoccurring. We don't actually need legislative action to continue the programs as they are written in statute, because they are separate from the appropriation process. So inaction is by a guarantee of the funding amounts, yet the governor on July 1st and all the way through December decided not to follow the law, the spirit of the law, the legislative intent, and hereby forces us to have a hearing now in March and take a proactive approach to legislative solutions that probably would not have been necessary. So the governor's assault on any education setting is going to repeat itself, and therefore we should take any action that could protect those schools that are and students that are relying on these funds. One final question to Madam President Moore. Representative Mustio and I paid a visit to your school, even though your school is pretty far away from Beaver County and Moon Township. And the reason that we paid a visit was one of your board members was bragging to the point of making us need to come see your amazing facility. And he set a very high bar, and believe it or not, your school exceeded that. And while you're deemed a college prep, one of the criticisms that I mentioned earlier that is often associated with private schools is that you're cherry picking the best and the brightest. The gentleman, one of your students who met Representative Mustio and I at the door, when he showed up at your school, he was not on the path to going to college. Could you briefly talk about the demographics, or the maybe not the education demographics of the students when they arrive at your school, and then ultimately your acceptance rate into college upon graduation, and your graduation rate, please, as well?
Quickly, most of our students come reading 2 and 3 grade levels below level. We're an 8th through 12th grade school. They're computing at 3 and 4 grade levels below level. I'm sure we all share this in common. In 5 very quick years, we have 100% of our seniors go on to college and university, and as I said earlier, 85% graduate from college and university in 5 years or less. To answer the question, children learn through relationships, not programs. We follow them all the way through college. We help them overcome most of the hurdles that come with the baggage of poverty. So I think that's hopefully the quickest answer.
And a credit to your board of directors as well for their work, as well as your staff for those wonderful statistics. Thank you.